Everybody, it's Steve with Entering into Space. Adjust glasses, strike pose, tense eyelids, smolder. Anyway, yeah, today I finally am getting to displaying or showing you some really cool data that myself and a couple other astro freaks captured. Mark Carter with Midwest Astro, and Tommy Lease with Colorado Astro. We got together and decided to really put some time on M101. And see what we could come up with. And we decided to not only shoot it in RGB and luminance, but we decided to also shoot HA and O3. And lo and behold, we discovered some very, very new structure to most people, especially in the O3, the oxygen data. Spoiler alert, it was not a new discovery. We did reach out to some folks, and they determined that NASA had captured some of this stuff. But when you look at other images, when you go on Astrobin and you see other people's stuff, yeah, you don't see this kind of structure. So we were able to capture about 90 hours total, with the between the three of us. I did the narrowband data, and I think Tommy did the RGB data, and Mark shot the luminance data. So what I'm going to do today is show you how I combined it, because it was pretty difficult, a lot to combine there, and show you how to integrate the HA and O3 data into the RGB and the luminance and come out to one structure, one image, and also show you some of this neat stuff. So if you're out there and you're going to get geared up this galaxy season to shoot M101, definitely throw that oxygen filter in there and see if you can't capture the structure as well. So you're like, okay, get on with it, bruh. So we're here in the M101 collab. We have, you can see all the different times I processed this. So we've got 19 hours of HA, 34 hours. It's kind of weird. We got 23 hours of RGB. Forget how many hours of oxygen, and our luminance. Those are the four. Let's open those up and take a look at them. Cool. So oxygen data, pretty good. I think I'm going to use this for the alignment data. This is the RGB. Whoops. No, that is the rejection. High, rejection low. I was like, ew. RGB. One more time. One more time. Ew, that's on link. Okay, so RGB, and they're obviously not anywhere near aligned. Luminance data, thank you, Mark. And the HA data, which is upside down. So we've got a lot to align here. Now the RGB data is already integrated. I think he shot this with a one-shot color, the 533 MC. I believe so. Everything I shot was with the 533 monochrome. And I'd have to go back and look. I'll post it in the description, exact cameras used for all these data sets. But one thing I want to do is I want to do a color calibration before I integrate in the oxygen and HA data. I want to go ahead and do a color calibration on the stars and the galactic data here without being skewed by the additional HA and O3 data. So first thing I got to do is align them all. And one really cool feature, or one thing we had to overcome that, to be honest with you, Mark and Tommy worked on this more. As you can kind of see, since we all used 10-inch Newtonians to shoot this, is that the star spikes are a little off, but they really did a really good job of making sure the rotation was the same, that their star spikes were the same. Mine don't matter because I'm gonna get rid of all these narrowband stars anyway. So I'm just trying to capture the structure within these. So if you're doing this, if you and some friends are doing this, and you're shooting with Newtonians, that's one of the challenges that you're going to have is the stupid star spikes. So we're going to use O3 as our gauge image, I guess, if you will. Let's minimize them all here. Let's go hit our process, all processes, and we're going to go down to star alignment. We're going to take our O3. We're going to put it as our reference image. We're going to grab the HA, the luminance, and the RGB. Drag them in here and drop them in the tray and hit the global button. Okay, so we've got them all aligned. These right here, we can go ahead and delete. Delete selected icons, yes. Go through, we're going to keep, and we can shut down star alignment. So let's go ahead and do a screen transfer function. Look at them again. Yeah. So now we just want to pick the worst one that's been rotated and use that for our gauge for our cropping. I think the RGB one probably is the worst. So since that one is the worst, we're going to use that one as the set to crop to. Let's open up dynamic crop. And we're going to move it in. Really not looking to get too much of the galactic space around M101, something like that. Now we're just wanting to show some of these outlier structures. Maybe raise it up here and grab that little star. Little star. It's probably ginormous. And I like that. I'm going to drag that crop set off. And then go ahead and crop everything. I'm not too worried about running SPCC on these right now. But I am going to do a background neutralization and just a general color calibration on the RGB data, like I said, before I integrate. All right, so here's what I'm talking about. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it for you, which is crazy. Let's put all three images up here, and let's set them to the same thing. Show you this structure that we captured here. That's unique. HA data was sick, man. 19 hours. But this little guy out here was pretty strong. This big nebulous region, but you can begin to see over here in the HA this ionized bubble that's right here. So if we take that and we move it over here, that image or that viewpoint, you can see in the RGB it ain't there. Boop. Should be right around here. You could kind of see something, maybe those stars. That star is this star. That star is this star. Wait. Yeah. Yeah. Look. But this little bubble right here isn't there. But if we drag it over and we look at it in the oxygen, man, you can really see it. Look at that. Boom. So like, if I just leave this O3 up, and even if we go into the luminance, it's crazy. It's like it's not even there, which is kind of mind-blowing because you would think everything, no matter what it is going to give off light, and in a luminance environment, we should be picking that up. But you can see it there, but in an O3, it is mega strong. So we really, really, really want to emphasize this. And then obviously, supernova, and then this outlier structure is just phenomenal in O3. We're going to have to do some work to really preserve that and make sure we don't blow that out, because with the screen transfer, it is blown out. So we're going to work really hard to salvage some structure in this one. But this is the O3 data, and definitely worth shooting if you're interested later on down the road. So let's combine them all. And when you have this much data you're working with, You always got to do some housekeeping. So let's work on this the RGB data. We obviously need to do a dynamic background extraction. Let's relabel this. And we're going to open up DBE. I have been using Gragspert, and for some reason right now it's failing because it wants me to do an update. And I'm like, bleh, I don't want to do an update. You worked okay. You did all right. I'm going to increase my sample size to 20. And I think I'm going to do an array. So I'm going to do 6 samples per row. I'm going to hit generate. And you can see I got kind of a dark corner up here. So let me bump the tolerance up to 2.5. Hit generate again. So now we got all of our doodads. See if we can get a few more samples per row. Cool. You know, Gragspert works pretty good, but you have to do it on each individual image. And it takes a while to run. So it's almost like if you really timed yourself, by the time you move all your sample points and get everybody set, and once you do that, then DBE runs pretty quick. So I don't know. The jury's out. I'm going to hit the delete button on that one. I'm just trying to get samples off of what I think is a galactic structure. Hold my space bar down and moving the mouse to kind of move the image around. Cool. This guy right here, I'm probably gonna delete him. Maybe put one more right there. What do you think? Got another one there. Got a cool little galactic structure out here. It's a very interesting area when you zoom in. It's kind of what I like about DBE is, you know, messing around with these sample points allows you to really zoom into the image. And you get to see some structure that you might not see if you were, you know, looking at it from a 10,000 foot view. You get to like see little star clusters and galaxies and things like that that are really interesting. Anyway, it's my public service announcement for DBE. All right, I like it. Let's go ahead and run it. Oops. That's just the background model. We forgot to do one thing. We got to come down here to target image correction. We're going to set that to division, and we're going to discard the background model. Let's run it again. Ooh. And I remember doing this before. For some reason, I just don't understand why we get a big green mess. But we'll fix it. Don't worry about it. But it looks good. So I'm going to save those parameters off there. Close down the tool. And shit can the image. Yes. All right, I'm just going to do this for everybody. See how Luminous does. Oh, it's happy. You know what? I think I got some of these I want to move. Just because I want to. Cool. Let's reset that one. Drag and drop it, and you're going to make those little changes. Cool. Boom. Close the tool because it's dynamic. Close the image. Yes. Open up HA. Definitely want to make sure our backgrounds are as clean as we possibly can because we're going to use some subtraction formulas. We don't want to skew them. All right. And close down the tool. I got one more to do, and that would be the 03. 03 is not that bad, but we'll do it anyway. Awesome. These newer cameras where all you have to do is like flats and dark flats, it was amazing. They flat out so well. Yes. So let's shorten these names up. And this one definitely has to be changed for the formula, lowercase HA. And this one has to be changed for the formula, lowercase O3. Okay. And this is our RGB. So one thing I did with the RGB prior combining was I put in the O3 and the HA, and then, I separated the channels, put the O3 and the HA in their respective channels, and then recombined them, and then ran color correction. And I think I got some bias in there. So I'm going to find a bit of space. I'm going to click this little box up here and set a sample point. So that's sample point number 1. So I'm sampling the background. I'm going to take another sample point, just choose the whole galaxy itself. Those are my 2 sample points. So first thing I'm going to do is come in here, process, background, channel calibration, or color calibration, my goodness. And I'm going to neutralize the background based on sample 1. So I'll click this little box up here, do the drop down, go to preview 1, drag and drop. And because we were unlinked, but if I link it and hit the stretch, see, you get a little bit of a change, get rid of some of that green. Okay, so now I'm going to open up process, color calibration, old school. White reference is going to be sample 2. I'm going to turn off structure detection, and I'm going to come in here to the background reference, which is sample or preview 1. Drag and drop. That's not bad. That's pretty close. M101 is not really a super colorful galaxy. All right, so all my previews are gone. I'm not doing anything else to it right now. I'm not going to do any corrections, anything like that. I've just got the color the way I want it in a linear state. So I'm going to hit this split RGB channels. And this RGB image here is kind of done. We'll move it over here. So this is our blue, green, and red. And for the formulas to work that we're going to bring over here, we're going to change these identifiers to just red. And this one's set to blue. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract the HA data from the red channel to get just the HA data. And I'm going to subtract the O3 data from the blue channel to get just the O3 data. But I'm also going to add it once I get that data set. I'm going to add it to the green channel, not as boosted. Because really, the blue out there, the oxygen is really almost like an aqua or a teal. So that there is some signal in the green. So let's do the HA first. Okay. So let's open up our HA. And I've got my formulas over here in workspace 2. I've got add O3, isolate O3, isolate HA, add HA. So I'm going to bring them over here. I'm actually going to move them because I've got tools right here. It's right there. Right click on it. I'm going to say move to workspace 1. Come back to workspace 1, and voila, here they are. Housekeeping. All right. So we want to isolate the HA. That's this formula here. You're more than welcome to copy that formula down. We're going to leave everything set right now. We're going to drop it and see what we get before we start adjusting some of these values. And we got nothing. No change whatsoever. So let's drop this red times 7 is supposed to be kind of the nanometer width of our filters, which ours are 3. Let's drag and drop. Not a whole lot of difference there, is there? So we're actually going to drop the multiplier for HA, maybe down to 40. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. We've really lowered our HA multiplier down, and you know you're getting somewhere when you start to see these stars in here kind of look kind of funky like this. Yeah. So I think that is what we're going to want to use. So we're actually going to close this image down, and we're going to help this formula by doing something that I should have done prior, but I got really excited. I'm going to pull the stars. So the HA, I don't care about the stars. So I don't want to generate a star image. Cool, and I'm going to come in here to the red channel, do a screen transfer function, and I'm going to say generate star image because I do want the red stars. I'm going to put them back in. Let's minimize our star image. Twink. Go ahead and push the red down there. Let's close down Star Exterminator. Thank you, Russell. Let's try it again using those values that we worked on. Yeah. So we've really eliminated most everything minus the HA, which is really cool. Cool. I like that. All right, so let's minimize our HA. We're going to take this image here and we are going to close that down. We're going to rename this one because of the formula, because it's driven in the formula, new underscore HA. So this is our new HA data. But one other step that I take in this process of adding this to the red channel is I want to create a mask. I don't want to add all this background garbage and some of this lightness in here. I want to get just the HA structure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this new HA, I'm going to make a clone. I'm going to minimize our new HA, push it down here. Right? And I'm going to apply a stretch. So I'm going to pull out my screen transfer function. I'm going to point at the K value up here and roll my mouse wheel back so I can clip the background. Right about there. Remember, this is just a mask, so we're just going to keep balancing that out like that. Open up the histogram transformation. I'm going to drag the little caret over here, put it on the bottom. Boink. Use F12 to kill the auto stretch, then drag the caret over there, and now it's stretched. So this is our stretched image of our HA data. Now we're going to open up range selection. Range selection. Do real-time preview. Push this lower limit slider over until we like our structure. We're going to smooth it just a little bit. Back off. So think of this as like a sheet of plywood, and we've just punched holes in a plywood or tape. We've taped all this off, and this is just where we're going to paint. That makes sense? Makes sense, yes? Let's apply that. Cool. Let's close that down. So this is our mask we're going to use. We don't even need this anymore, so we can go ahead and delete it. So let's call this our HA underscore mask. Cool. We're going to use this a few times, so don't throw it away. So let's open up the red channel. Starless data. Let's take our HA mask. Apply it. Boink. And then we're going to get our add HA formula. And because we've created a mask, I'm going to leave that boost factor at 5. Let's right click on the image and go to mask and say show mask so we see it. And remember, it's formula driven, so it's looking for something that says new HA, which is right here, new HA. So let's drag and drop. Damn. Okay, we've added the HA in, and I took just a few seconds off to just kind of test the boost. It seemed like 5 was a little just too much, so I changed the HA boost to 2. So if you come in here and we do it before and after, you can see we've added that HA, very isolated. You know, let me, just for demonstration purposes, I say remove, let's see here, remove mask, and then I just dump it on like so. You can tell it just changes the background, right? I mean, it still adds the HA in, but I think it introduces a lot of additional noise. So that's why I like applying the mask to the image, and then see it just boosts right where you want it to. All right, so that's the HA. So let's go ahead and say mask and remove mask. Now, one thing we're gonna do, watch this, we're gonna minimize the red channel. We're gonna leave this boost factor alone. We're gonna open up our luminance. We're not gonna pull the stars. We're gonna apply the HA mask to it. And that was one little thing that I learned, that you could do all the work that you wanted to the RGB image by adding this structure detail. But if you don't add it to the luminance, it's just gonna mute it. So let's leave that as a 2. And see, we've just added it into, matter of fact, we could probably boost that one. Maybe boost it to 3. There you go. So add it to the luminance. Try that. I think you're gonna find that's pretty cool. And we're gonna do that with the oxygen as well. Okay, so let's close down the tool. Remove the mask and minimize our luminance. Okay. That one keeps throwing me off, so I'm gonna rename it green. Cool. All right, so same thing. Oh, before we forget, let's do red. Open up our red channel. Let's just open up one of these formulas and go into the expression editor. We can delete all this out because we need to put our stars back in. So we're going to say red plus red stars. Okay. Okay. We're going to replace the image. Put our stars back in. Groovy. So red channel's done. Has the HA in it. Blue channel. Let's open it up. Let's do an automatic stretch. And let's pull the stars. So star exterminator, we want to generate a star mask. Boom. All right, blue stars are out. Minimize the blue. Let's open up our O3 data. Turn off generate star image and pull the stars. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna leave that open. We're gonna open up isolate O3. And let's see what we gotta do to this one. Let's see how many values we're gonna have to change. Ha! Not much at all. See, it's just weird. So now you can really see the O3 structure, and you can definitely see this bubble. And then this guy out here. Very rarely see anybody really capturing that. O3 structure in this thing is crazy. So I'm digging that. I mean, honestly, I think that's a great subtraction. So let's say new underscore O3. I just took the same formulas and changed the names, rewrote them. That's kind of what I did. And minimize our O3. So let's open that new O3 back up. Let's create a clone. And again, same thing. Let's drag our screen transfer functions way out here so we can really do some clipping. On the corner, grab that carrot. Remember, it's a mask, so we really want to capture that O3 structure in there. Something like that. Histogram transformation. Just drag the carrot over. Drag and drop. Kill the stretch. Now we're stretched. So a lot of you might be thinking, well, why aren't you using that as a mask? I've tried that. It's not masky enough. I think you get a much stronger mask with range selection. So real-time preview, boost that lower limit. We're going to smooth it just a little bit. Maybe drop it back. So we're in there. You can always clip it in curves if you feel like we have to. Yeah. So we got some of this other stuff in here. So let's just open up the histogram transformation and bring our lower limit in. Right there. So that's our mask. It's a pretty darn good looking mask. We don't need this clone anymore. Let's rename this one. We're going to rename this one, O3 mask. _ mask. Okay, open up our blue, starless. Take our O3 mask and apply it. Right click on it and say show mask. Open up add O3. We're going to leave the boost factor at 5 and see what we get. Bam, look at that. I mean, that's so clean. Look at that. It's just like, look, I mean, this is RGB data, right? That you would think that you would be capturing some of this stuff. Nope. It's just almost like exist, doesn't exist, doesn't exist. So let's check out our bubble. See how our bubble did. Ooh. Bubbly. Bubbly. Look. Doesn't exist. Exist! Huh, where's it at? Up here. I don't know, man. I want more information on this. I really do. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so let's take our mask off. Remove mask. Close the tool. And we got to put our stars back in. So let's just open up a random one here. Because we are at Pixel Math. Open the expression editor up. Back the space up. So blue plus blue stars. Where you at, blue? Where you at, blue? Blue plus blue stars. Okay. Replace the target image. Drag and drop. Stars back in. Close the tool. All right, so blue's done. So let's open up our green image. All right. And we're going to take our O3 mask and apply it. Show mask. Open up add O3. So maybe drop that boost down to a 4. Doink. It's in the green channel now. Cool. That's only going to help. And let's not forget our luminance. All right, because look at this HA structure. It's kind of blobby, right? So let's go ahead and, oh my God, not that, Steve. O3 mask. Put it on our luminance. Put that back to a 5. Drag and drop. Bam. Okay, so our luminance has our new structure. Our RGB has all of our new structure. So we're getting close. So now let's recombine. LRGB combination, green, blue, red, red. Apply global. And let's rename this one RGB. RGB underscore new. Let's do an auto stretch. Yeah. So look at our new structure, and look at our bubble. Ooh, so cute. All right. Okay. So let's do some house cleaning. Let's take these guys. Say move to workspace 2 because we don't need you guys anymore. RGB. Move to workspace 2 because we don't need you anymore. All these little masks and stuff. Actually, we're going to keep our masks, so we might use them. Let's do new O3 and UHA. Stack them. You can't select them. Move to workspace 2. Okay. So, Russell Croman, you're up, buddy. These stars, we're going to correct them in the nonlinear state. So let's just do a preview here and see what that looks like. Let's open up Blur Exterminator. We're just going to say correct only, drag and drop. So Control Shift and Z. Not a lot of correction needed. Tommy boy, you did good. Proud of you. Okay, so let's go ahead and maybe shrink these stars a little bit. Let's reset the tool. We don't even worry about non-stellar with our RGB. I'm going to drop that star shrinkage down a little bit. Let's see how much we can tighten these stars up. We don't want them to swamp the luminant stars. So Control Shift and Z. Yeah. Muy bien. It's funny because a lot of my data sets now, I only do correct in the non-linear or the linear, and then I sharpen in non-linear. But here I'm completely doing it opposite of that. All right, so that's done. Let's kill the preview. Kill it. And minimize. Okay. This is RGB. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and delete this guy. We don't need it anymore because this new one has all the cool structure in it. Okay, so luminance. Let's see what's going on with the luminance stars. I got a feeling that these stars are probably gonna have to be corrected a little bit. Sorry, Mark. Don't mean to diss. Let's drag and drop. Control Shift and Z. We're getting a little bit of correction. I think we're just going to correct them and then tighten them up once we stretch. You can see just a little bit, but I like it. All right, luminance done. Now we stretch. So let's go ahead and open up our RGB data here. And I'm actually not going to do any noise reduction yet. I'm going to do it after we do some stretching here. So I'm going to kill the stretch. I'm going to use a tool that really helps me keep some of those brighter structures at bay, and that is a generalized hyperbolic stretch. Open up the real-time preview, and we're going to move this stretch factor over. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. We want to start seeing some of this signal in here, some of this really faint galactic signal. Got some up in here too we can work on. Right about there. You see we've kind of blown everything out, but let's push that local intensity. Right about there. Cool. What do you guys think? You think I probably should run DBE one more time? Maybe? I feel like I've got this gradients in here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's kill the tool. Kill the real-time preview. Let's do a stretch. See if we can clean it up. I feel like I have a gradients in here. See what we get out of it. Let's actually change this to subtraction. Like, bro, this isn't live. We're recording this. Yeah, I think that's a little better. Yes. So I'm just going to minimize that one. Let's open this one back up. Kill it. Generalized hyperbolic stretch. Real-time preview. And we stretch. Yeah. And with this tool, you want to kind of stretch until you're starting to see some of this fainter stuff. As far as I want to go. Right. Now those masks that we used or created, they're going to come in handy for some of these brighter areas. So we can run some HDMR and kind of tone them down. I like that. So let's go ahead and grab our local or set our symmetry point here. So we're going to kind of brighten some of the structure up in here. Oops, we forgot to send that. Select the area and then send to SP. Now we've set it. Right about there. Cool. Telling you, this doesn't need much. So let's do our drop down mode here, hit saturation. Let's boost a little saturation on this guy. Oh my goodness. I feel like we might have a little green in here, a little green bias we might have to deal with. Let's close that down. Look at this. Look at the structure in here. Would you look at that? I mean, it's just amazing. And our bubble is amazing. Everything's amazing. This guy right here blows out pretty cool, or pretty cool, pretty good. So we're gonna have to work on him. Might even have to isolate him. One thing we're gonna do is open up a curves transformation here, do a real-time preview. We're gonna come here to the luminance. We're gonna pull down the upper limits here. Maybe start raising it back up, because you can tell. And this in here we want to brighten up. Let's drag that lower limit down to get some contrast. We're just working on the image itself. So we kind of toned down some of these brighter areas. Let's say yes to that. Yes to the dress. So this is really just our color data. So I'm not really too worried about toning this down or trying to get any structure out of it just yet. We're going to work on that on our luminance. So let's open up our convolution tool. Do real-time preview. We're going to blur the image. That's going to get rid of a lot of chrominance noise. Cool. So let's rename this one RGB underscore final. Keep them all straight. Cool. Luminance is next. You're next, buddy. So we did a correction. We're not going to do anything else other than stretch it. So once again, GHS, real-time preview. Slide it over till we see, some of this fainter stuff in here, like that. I like it. Push our local intensity over. About there. Let's grab that area there, send to symmetry point. You see that darkened our background down? We can always continue to stretch this if we want to. Let's protect that shadow by boosting that up just a little bit. Brighten our background up. Let's accept that. So I have noticed that as awesome as Blur Exterminator is, something to do, it just does not like M101. And it can, if you're not careful, it can really make this galaxy look funky in a heartbeat. We don't want to do that. We want fabulous, not funky. So let's minimize it. Open up our RGB final. Open up LRGB combination. Let's go ahead and combine and finish our work. We're going to boost the saturation. We're going to apply some chrominance noise reduction. Drag and drop. Cool. So there's our final image. It hasn't had any noise reduction applied to it yet, but let's open up our curves. Let's do that same kind of technique with our luminance here. Let's find out where everything's at. See this guy, he's already starting to kind of blow out. So let's definitely pull it down. This in here, we want to raise it back up. So go ahead and set our lower limit to here. Cool. So let's do some sharpening. Let's drag it across here. Got the stars in here. Our bubble is somewhat pronounced, but see, I don't know, I might have to work on that one. I have to really pop that one somehow. But let's come in here to Blur Exterminator. We're not going to do correct. Let's reset the tool. Maybe run it at default values. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, you can see, like, it's pretty dramatic, but it almost killed our bubble. Still there though. I don't know, what do you guys think? So that's what I'm saying. You come in here and it starts to really kind of make some weird kind of funky things, but that's when you're just like putting a magnifying glass on it. I think I'm gonna accept it. Cool. Delete. And yeah. So let's see how let's go ahead and do some noise reduction. Pretty cool that we didn't have to do much. Let's drop it down to about 0.6. We're going to raise our detail threshold up to 0.3. And that really cleaned it up. You could tell before and after. All right. Okay, we're super close, but now we're going to do some little nitpicky things here with this. I like my bubble, but I want it to be a little more pronounced and brighter. And I want to try to, oh my God, look at that. I want to try to work on this a little bit maybe, but this O3 structure in here, like, this is where you really want a longer focal length telescope and just shoot this. I bet you'd be a phenomenal image. But we didn't really know what we were going to get when we just started shooting this, so yeah. But I mean, you know, overall, it's incredible. Let's open up our mask here. Let's create a clone. Boink. And we're going to say process, all processes, and we're going to come down here to clone stamp. We're going to set this to like 100, and we want it to pretty much be gone. Get out. So I want to erase everything except for the bubble. Okay, we're just about done. I actually increase it to 200, kind of speed up the process. So, so all that, and we have created this weird tiny little mask. Let's accept it, right? And let's apply it. I know, like, you're like, dude, seriously. So let's kind of zoom in here. Yeah. So we're going to open up curves, do a real-time preview. It's going to be kind of difficult to see. We're just going to take the RGB and just kind of boost it. You see how we're doing? Man, you're not even able to see this on YouTube. I swear to God. I'm going to kick that blue in. Bust that luminance a little bit. And all right. So let's look at our before and after. Yeah. Muy bien. All right. Remove, and then this. We can delete this one. Yes. Yes. The other thing we can do is use our game script. So script, utility, where you at? Game script. Cool. Let's do a multi-point. Add it to there. Roll the mouse wheel back. Doink. I'm just creating a little mask just to kind of work on this little area here. I mean, not that it needs a lot of work. I think we did pretty good on our initial run here. Click OK. We have it set to a gradient mask. Yeah, and then let's open up convolution. We'll blur it. We did all that detail just to go make it blobby. Let's apply the mask. And one thing we can do to really see what we're doing here. One thing we can do to see what we're doing, Jesus, is we can do a preview box. Okay, let's open up HDR multi-scale, transform to lightness mask. Even though we have a mask, didn't do anything, did it? Nothing. Let's drop it down even more. Yeah, there we go. Kind of took some of that brightness out. I think a 4 is probably good. So we'll go back out into the image, drag and drop. And let's go back in here. Let's go to curves. Let's maybe kill just a little bit of the green. All right. I just want to know what's going on in there. Oop, I can't do that. I'm in a preview. Don't delete it though. Save it. Drag and drop. Yeah. delete. And then maybe let's open up curves one more time. Let's hit our luminance and just... Oh, we got to do real-time preview, dumbass. We're just going to brighten it just a little bit. All right. Ask and remove. So I think that we have a pretty awesome image. I mean, we've got some great tight stars. We didn't get too crazy with our structure details. You know, you can start to see that it's kind of weird, funky looking. It's just a tough galaxy to shoot. Everybody's like, oh, this is an awesome galaxy. Well, guess what? When you're starting out, this thing's hard. It's a hard galaxy to process, hard galaxy to shoot. I feel like I might have a little green in there. Let's go here to process. Noise reduction. SCNR. So let's see what happens when we take some of that green out. Can you tell? I did anything? Nope. We'll leave it alone. Yeah, we even got some little tendrils and doodads down in here. I think our stars look great. Yeah. And we got our bubble back. So, yeah, final thoughts. If you guys out there, put some time, put some O3 time, put some O3 time on just about every galaxy you shoot, because I guarantee you're going to find some structure. God, what's another one? Like M33. My goodness. Ugh, that one's amazing. Like, I need to do a process video on the data I came up with that one, because I just did an image with just the nebula structures in it. It's crazy. But yeah, anyway, so I thanked those fellas a long time ago. We did this over the summer, but I just want to say thanks again to Mark and Tommy. I've had them featured them both here in my Entering into Space interviews. So I know Tommy is blasting out images left and right. He's got some great weather up in Colorado. Mark's taking a little time off to figure out how to be a pilot. He's doing pretty good at that. So, but definitely show them some love on their YouTube channel. They're still got them. I've got lots of great information, you guys. I'll help you guys. So until next time, clear skies and clear minds.